Picture this. You just got a raise. You're feeling good, you're feeling confident, and you decide, you know what, I deserve this. So you walk into a dealership and you drive off in a brand new $35,000 car. Leather seats, heated steering wheel, that new car smell. And for a few weeks, life is good. But here's what nobody told you at that dealership. Nobody sat you down and showed you the math. Nobody said, hey, before you sign this, let me show you what this car is actually costing you. Because if they did, I promise you, most people would walk right back out that door. And if you're someone who's already made this move or you're thinking about making it, trust me, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do. Stick around. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Shelby, and on this channel, Shelby Investment, I break down the stuff your school never taught you. Money, investing, wealth habits, all of it made simple. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with something that's going to feel a little uncomfortable. According to Experian's 2024 State of the Automotive Finance Market report, the average monthly car payment in America right now is $735 for a new vehicle. $735 every single month. And the average loan term? 68 months. That's nearly 6 years of your life tied to a depreciating asset that loses roughly 20% of its value the second you leave the lot. But here's the thing. The sticker price and the monthly payment, those aren't even the real problem. Those are just the tip of the iceberg. What I want to show you today is what's hiding beneath the surface. Because the true cost of that $35,000 car isn't $35,000. It's not even close. Let me walk you through the math, and I need you to stay with me here because this is where it gets genuinely shocking. Let's say you're 28 years old. You finance that $35,000 car at the current average interest rate, which according to Bankrate in early 2025 sits around 7.1% for a new vehicle loan. You take the standard 60-month term. Your monthly payment comes out to roughly $690 a month. Over 5 years, you'll pay back about $41,400 total, meaning you paid over $6,000 just in interest on top of the purchase price. But we're not done, because that car comes with insurance. The national average for full coverage on a new vehicle runs about $2,000 a year according to Bankrate. Then you've got registration fees, oil changes, tires, brakes. The American Automobile Association estimates the total annual cost of owning a new vehicle runs about $12,000 per year when you factor everything in. $12,000. That's $1,000 a month. So over the course of that 5-year loan, you're looking at roughly $60,000 in total out-of-pocket costs. And at the end of those 5 years, your $35,000 car is worth maybe $14,000. You've lost $46,000 in value. Now here's where it gets really painful. And this is the part that most people never think about, because most people are only thinking about the monthly payment. They're not thinking about the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is just a fancy way of asking, what else could this money have done? What would have happened if, instead of spending $1,000 a month on a car, you had invested it? If you had invested $1,000 a month for 5 years into a broad index fund, something like the S&P 500, which has returned an average of about 10% annually over the last century, you'd have roughly $77,000 at the end of that period. Okay, that's already painful to look at, but we're still not done, because here's the real gut punch. That $77,000 doesn't just sit there. That money keeps compounding. If you're 28 and you retire at 65, that's another 32 years for that money to grow. At 10% annual return, $77,000 compounding for 32 years becomes, are you ready for this? Approximately $1.4 million. One car, $1.4 million. But wait, Shelby, I said $500K in the title, so why am I throwing out $1.4 million? Because I wanted to be conservative. I wanted to account for the fact that not everyone invests $1,000 a month. Some people are financing $35,000 cars, but still managing to invest something. So even if we cut that number by 3/4 and just look at the pure opportunity cost of the average car payment, $735 a month invested over 5 years, then left to compound for 30 more years, you're still looking at north of $500,000. $500,000. Gone because of one car decision. Now look, I'm not here to tell you that you should never own a car. that's not realistic. Most people need transportation. But what I am saying, and I want to be crystal clear about this, is that the way most people buy cars in America is quietly one of the most destructive financial decisions they'll ever make. And the worst part is, society makes it feel completely normal. Think about it. When was the last time someone pulled up in a brand new BMW and their friend said, "Wow, that's a terrible financial decision"? Never. Nobody says that. Instead, everyone's impressed. The status signals work exactly as designed, and the car companies, the dealerships, the banks, they are all counting on that. Here's something that blew my mind when I first learned it. According to a study by Thomas Stanley and William Danko, the guys who wrote The Millionaire Next Door, the typical American millionaire does not drive a new luxury vehicle. The most popular car brand among American millionaires in their research was Toyota. Not Mercedes, not BMW, Toyota. Why? Because genuinely wealthy people understand that a car is a tool, not a trophy, and tools should be bought based on function, not feeling. So, what does a smart car decision actually look like? Let me give you the framework that I think about. First, let's talk about the buy versus lease question. A lot of people think leasing is smart because the monthly payment is lower. I want to kill this idea right now. When you lease, you are paying for the most expensive part of a car's depreciation, the first few years, and you build zero equity. You hand the car back and you have nothing to show for it. You are basically renting. For most people, leasing a car is one of the least efficient ways to spend money on transportation. Now, should you buy new or used? Here's the math that should settle this debate. A new car loses on average about 20% of its value in the first year alone, according to Carfax. By year 3, it's lost roughly 40 to 50% of its original value. So if you buy a 3-year-old version of the exact same car, someone else already absorbed that brutal early depreciation. You get 80% of the car for maybe 50 to 60% of the price. That's the sweet spot. The ideal move for most people, especially if you're in your 20s or 30s and you're trying to build real wealth, is a 3 to 5-year-old certified pre-owned vehicle from a reliable brand. You pay cash if you can, or you put a significant down payment down to minimize the loan. You keep your total transportation costs under 15% of your take-home pay. That's a rule of thumb from financial planners like Ramit Sethi, and it's a solid benchmark. Let's run the numbers on what that actually looks like. Say instead of buying that $35,000 new car, you buy a 3-year-old version for $18,000. You put $5,000 down, finance $13,000 at a lower rate because your loan amount is smaller, and your monthly payment drops to around $275. Your insurance is lower because the car is worth less. Your total monthly transportation cost might be $550 instead of $1,000. That's $450 freed up every single month. If you invest that $450 a month from age 28 to age 65 at that 10% historical average, you're looking at just over $2 million in retirement savings, just from making a smarter car decision, just from choosing the $18,000 car over the $35,000 car. Now, here's where I want to zoom out for a second and talk about something bigger, because I think the car problem is really a symptom of a deeper issue that most people don't want to confront, and it's this. We have been programmed by advertising, by social media, by our culture to optimize for how our life looks rather than how it actually is. The new car feels like progress. It feels like you've made it. But financially speaking, it's often the opposite. It's the behavior of someone who's trying to look wealthy rather than become wealthy, and there's a massive difference between those two things. The people I know who are quietly building serious wealth, they drive modest cars, they live in reasonably sized houses, their clothes don't have logos on them, and they are stacking money at a pace that would make your jaw drop because they've opted out of the performance. They're playing a different game. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Shelby, I work hard, I deserve nice things. And you're right, you do. I'm not here to tell you to live like a monk. What I'm telling you is the order of operations matters. Build the wealth first. Get your investments working for you. Get to a place where the numbers make sense. And then, if a luxury car still excites you, buy it in cash from a position of strength as a reward for the wealth you've already built, not as a monthly payment that's quietly bleeding your future dry before you even know it. Here's what I want to leave you with today. One specific action, just one. Go pull up your bank account or your credit card statement. Find your car payment. find your insurance, add up your total monthly transportation costs, and then go to a compound interest calculator, there are free ones all over the internet, and plug in what that money would be worth if you invested it instead over 30 years at 8 to 10%. Just look at the number. That's all I'm asking. Because sometimes all it takes is seeing the math laid out in front of you to completely change the way you think about a decision. That number you see, that is the cost of the car you're driving. Not the sticker price, not the monthly payment, that number. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. The $35,000 car isn't just a car. For most people, it's a $500,000 retirement account they chose not to have. And now you know, so use that. If you got value from this video, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow, and it lets me know to keep making videos like this. And if you want to go deeper on building real wealth from scratch, check out the next video right here. I'll see you there.